Well, hello there, all you absolutely magnificent people, and welcome back to another episode of An Ecologist Plays, where we are back in Empires of the Undergrowth, and oh my word, we are about to finish these story missions. I can't believe it, here we are. Now, previously on the community tab, I had posed the very, very important question of which of the Matabele ants should I be going for, which of the medics. It was, of course, between Anaesthetist and fast responder, and well, the results are in with 32 votes for fast responder and 28 votes of Anaesthetist. And you may think, okay, well that's then straightforward. I mean, obviously you're going to go for the one that gets the most votes, right? But it's not quite that simple, you see, because there were some good points made for proponents of both of these Matabele ants. And if you're looking at it statistically, there's no significant difference between the number of votes cast for fast responder and the number of votes cast for anaesthetist. I did a bit of a chi-square goodness of fit test with Yates correction, and that yielded the result that, well, the p-value is more than 0.05. So statistically, not significantly different, which means that I have to go on what you guys said. And it seems that having a bit of another fighter may be a good idea. There are going to be two good little ability slots here that we are going to get. That field medic, I believe, is a good one to get. And yeah, so we are going to go for, I think, and I may be making a mistake, but I'm going to go for Anaesthetist, because we are going to level them up to level 3, so this thing will increase physical damage to the targets. I think that is going to be quite good. Okay, so they're a bit of a combat medic, if I can put it that way. Of course, if you were one of the guys voting for fast responder, please do not crucify me. I'm just going according to the stats and according to the arguments, and I think Anaesthetist is a good one to go for. Alright, so let's jump in then. I feel so bad taking this one. I always go for fast responder, but here we go. Anaesthetist, you are getting a chance. Do not fail me. Obviously here, between field medic, where fallen ants are tended to slightly behind the front line rather than in the nest, that is extremely useful. Whereas surgeon reduces the debuff of restored ants. It's alright, you know, they're getting a second chance. They don't have to do very well in their second life. So let's go for field medic. And then sustain versus preserve. I think this sustain here is quite good. Each attack restores a small amount of health to nearby allies. So they are going to be in the thick of the fight as well. May as well, you know, put them in there. So let's use sustain here to sustain our health. Now we do also have quite a bit of jelly to spend, so let's get the upgrades here to level 3. And then let's see here, movement speed, attack damage, physical resistance, and venom resistance. Obviously going to go for movement speed. We do need quite a bit of movement. We're going to do a bit more extra damage since they are going to be in the fight as well. Physical resistance, always good to have. And then, you know, 5 points of venom resistance, also quite good. More, there we go. Let's have these guys quite fast. Yeah, let's go for them. They are extremely fast. They're going to be in there and doing some damage. So, without any... Oh, no. I was about to jump in without even having made any Matabele ants. Alright, so we are going to... we're going to plop down the Matabele ants to this side.
What's this? Notes on continued experiments.
Ooh.
Solenopsis invicta, Megaponera anaris. He wanted to integrate Matabele DNA into one of the erector colonies. Completely reckless.
I wouldn't call that reckless. I mean, that's awesome. That's what I would call it. And I'm sure scientists too would agree. Now, while we are doing this, though, and upgrading our ants and all that, the whole idea of the gene thief ants here, it seems kind of very, very science fiction-y. That, you know what, they are... Obviously, it's not real. You can't take the genetics of another creature and use it as your own. But there are actually some plants that may actually be doing that. It's called lateral gene transfer. And some plants may actually be using it to camouflage themselves amongst other plants. If you go to South America, for example, there is Boquita trifoliata, which is known as the chameleon vine, and it can mimic the plants on which it grows. And it is quite possible that they are doing that by first getting the kind of the genetics of the species that they are trying to look like. Whether that be whether they're getting it from the plants directly, or whether they are getting it from bacteria on the plants, and then that gets transferred to the plants, that, who knows? Nobody knows yet. They are doing tests to find out how the plants are able to do that. But the chameleon vine, really an awesome plant and an example of something that actually does have lateral gene transfer. And of course, bacteria also will have lateral gene transfer, and they're able to get the genetics of other individuals in order to actually, adapt to changing environments. So it's not unheard of, but it is unheard of thus far, at least in ants and other invertebrates. We can support another 51 population. That's a bit too many, but we are going to go for another cluster of Matabele ants. So then we've got 3. And you know what? Just to help around the nest, we are going to plop down a bunch more normal worker ants as well. Nice big chamber over here. Just a bunch of normal Ereptor workers. They're just going to plop down all the lovely little eggs that we are going to be requiring. Because, oh my word, there's going to be so much death now. Okay, now I honestly don't know what to do with all the Matabele ants. I'm going to have 2 in group 5, 2 squadrons, 2 chambers in group 5. I've got 1 in group 3. Unfortunately, a lot of these groups do take quite a while to respond. I mean, you can see there are quite a lot of them in each of these groups. Group 1 basically just has a whole bunch of fire ants, 38 of them, along with 19 of the wood ants, so all from 2 chambers worth of ants. And of course, group 2 then has a bit more of a punch there, a bit more of the tanks. We've got the leafcutter ant mages there. We've got some fire ants as well for some DPS. And then we have in group 3 some Matabele ants. We've got some wood ants. And then we've got the leafcutter mages as well. And group 4 is just, causing chaos. We've got this is the chaos group. We've got a bunch of fire ants and we've got wood ants for ranged attacks as well. And then group 5, which is, I guess, right over here, we've got a whole bunch of medics. So I think I'm going to let group 5 hang around the nest mostly, or the nest entrance, and then send them where they need to go. That is what I will be doing. And in general, group 1 will be up at the top here, group 2 will be over here, group 3 will be down here, and group 4 will be over here. And we're going to move them around as is needed. Alrighty. Well, I guess that is it. I think. It is time for the absolute chaos that is the real final experiment. So let's see here. The real final experiment, medium difficulty, of course. Let's crack on, shall we? And this is just Future Will popping in to say this is officially your spoiler warning because, well, this is the final mission. So you will be seeing the final experiment today. Alrighty, but without any further ado, let's jump right in, shall we? Let's just bring the ants a little bit closer to the nest. Something is happening. Dun, dun, dun.
Guess what I've got?
Ooh, bunch of stuff. Nuts and bolts.
It's been a long road, hasn't it, my Raptors? You've done so well. Everyone doubted your potential for selective assimilation. Everyone except for me, of course. We need only arouse the remaining mutation vectors and it will be complete. Imagine it. No host rejection, no secondary augmentations. Tonight we finish it. Tonight we conduct the final experiment. Everything is arranged. Perhaps not as clinical as certified company equipment, but we make do. Our fates are intertwined now, my little ants. Do not fail me.
Okay, so there are a bunch of stuff here.
We'll program a simple linear sequence to begin with. Electrode, fire, acid, then the laser. Don't be shy. You want the jelly, don't you? Look, a nice big blob on the surface. Come and get it.
Okay, group 4, come and get it. Group 1, you also can come and grab it. Everybody come and grab the food as soon as we can, as quick as you can. Thank you very much.
You haven't tasted this before, have you, my Raptors?
Ooh.
Pure concentrated jelly. None of the other specimens survived exposure, so you'll be the first. Unless my hypothesis is wrong, in which case your lethal neoplasms will spread through the colony. No one wants to see that.
Okay, group 1 and 4 come back. So we've grabbed a bunch of the raw jelly. Let's see, how much have we got? We've got not 5,000 yet, so we can't actually upgrade that yet. We've got 19 seconds left, that's alright. Oh, we can actually. Alright. Thing is, we want
capacitors. Now don't be startled if you hear a slight pop.
You know what, I'm going to get that. Yeah, there we go.
Yes, Yes! It's working. The rate of adaptation has accelerated tenfold.
Alright, so we're just staying out of this zone where the jelly was so that we don't get shocked. Very important that. So the idea now is, of course, that we are exposed to stimuli and we actually will develop some resistance to that stimulus. In this case, it's a bit of a shocky-shocky.
Noisy equipment must be quite intimidating. How about a familiar distraction? A handful of tiger beetles will do nicely.
Okay, let's kill what we can. Actually, we bring everything in so that we can quickly grab the raw jelly up here as well. Tiger beetles, they no match for us while we are, like this. So we're getting some food and we're getting some raw jelly here. But anyways, what I was talking about here is we're getting exposure to a stimulus and we are adapting to it. Now, this is very similar to what we call phenotypic plasticity.
Standby for this one. Safety first.
So phenotypic plasticity refers to when there is genetics that code for, being able to do a variety of stuff, but then you actually look different based on the environmental stimuli that you actually are exposed to. So, for example, the Murex tribulus, which is a very, very spiny snail, that one occurred in the Red Sea. And then, due to predation by crabs, they were extremely spiny. Okay, let's grab some more raw jelly. But then when the Suez Canal was built...
all this is going on if you had to share your terrarium with a collection of highly agitated spiders.
Okay, where are the spiders?
Why, it would be absolute pandemonium.
Where are the spiders? I want to know that. Oh, the spiders happen to also be here in this area. They stand no chance. Okay, so we're just going to kill and maim and do everything to them. But yeah, phenotypic plasticity. So when the Suez Canal was actually built then the Murex tribulus snails actually moved into the area known as the Bitter
acid is
Lakes.
pressurized, the nozzle takes aim, the danger is clear, but the jelly's right here.
Oh, there we go.
Your move.
Look at that, they're actually bringing them back. Ah, that's cool. But then the Murex tribulus moved into the Bitter Lakes where there were no crabs. And that little one is going to be dead now, but that's alright. And as a result, the snails that actually moved into that area,
How about some bombardier beetles? Now that you face down a jet of noxious super acid, these should be child's play.
I guess we are just going to get the laser reflectivity as well. But then those Murex tribulus, they actually responded by not getting any spines at all on their shells, simply because, well, there were no crabs there to feed on them, so there was no need for them to spend energy on on getting the spiny shells. That's phenotypic plasticity. They respond according to external stimuli, in this case the presence or absence of predators. And in our case here, we are responding to
charged to 20
these
Don't look into
things here. We're responding to the lasers, we're responding to the heat, the flamethrower, those types of things. So we're responding to these external stimuli. And our genetics, due to the raw jelly that we're actually consuming, our genetics allow us to adapt to that. It allows us to respond by developing a resistance to it. To, in this case, the laser coming down here. Ooh, it stopped just short of us. Okay.
And that concludes the warm-up test. How was that?
Let's actually just
stretched,
upgrade everything.
Hungry for
There
more.
we go.
Good.
Yes, we are hungry for more. Bring on the chaos.
Simultaneous exposure to multiple stimulants, programming in a distributed sequence. There. Good luck.
Oh, okay. Okay, we're going to grab two groups go for each of these raw jellies here. Well, we've got a mantis coming along as well.
Let's make the arena more
Bunch of
interesting,
mantises.
shall we? What about a selection of angry mantises?
Oh, there are some up here as
That's
well.
Interesting, isn't it?
Okay, unfortunately, we are going to be under attack here quite a bit. Group 5, you guys come as well. Group 3, you guys come here. Actually, I think we've basically defeated that bunch. We're not going to be able to grab the raw jelly there, I think. Maybe we can. We've got a bit of time. Okay, everybody, go home. We may just be making it in time. We're not going to... Shame, those guys are not going to make it in time. But these guys, hopefully... Come on, go home. Yes, I think you may be... Oh, no, maybe not. Ooh, some of you may make it, some of you will fall. But that's what we have, the Matabele ants coming down as well. Okay, everybody. Chaos happening in the nest, it seems as well. Okay.
perhaps the stimulation intensity should be increased. After all, our brave raptors have not come this far to be coddled. They expect stringent test conditions. We'll start by increasing the electrode discharge capacity.
Okay, we've got enough raw jelly to upgrade that as well. Okay, everybody go grab some food if you can. Okay, no, actually, everybody back to the nest. Let's just have them outside so that they are ready to fend off any mantises or whatever comes along this way. Okay, we've got enough to actually develop resistance there as well. So the Flammenwerfer is coming as well. The shocky-shockies are coming along on this side. We are quite alright, I think, actually. As long as we don't go there where the jelly was, we should be able to carry on. Okay. Any dead ones? Yeah, there we go, we can rescue.
Discharge stream next. Oh, and it looks like you're running out of mantises. Let me help you.
Oh no,
with that.
okay, so more mantises. Alright, so let's of course have a look here. We do have some big ones there. That does look like the giant African mantis again. And these ones look like the ones we got in the leafcutter missions. They are nymphs though. But they appear to be nymphs because you can see there, we don't actually have any wings on them. They're still developing. The wing buds would be right over there. They would start developing their wings. They'd come along here, cover the abdomen in the end. So right along there somewhere, they would start developing their wings. And you can see there, it's just behind this body segment over here. They actually start developing their wings. These ones don't have any wing buds yet even. So they are really quite young. They most likely will grow up to be quite big. And unfortunately, that is where we will have to end today's episode. So tune in on Friday to see whether we manage to successfully survive the final experiment, the real final experiment. And until then, everybody, stay safe. I'll see you all soon.